Hey everybody, Snoo back again with another video, and it's been a long time coming, but I'm finally ready to make a video about magic finding the tower. About halfway through the season. I wanted to do this earlier, but man, long story short, I just kept learning new things about this strategy and about how to go about it. Shout out to a lot of content creators out there. They've been busy working on it. A lot of people have kind of slowed down. They're not making that much content anymore. This is when things kind of ramp up for me. I feel like I'm something of a second half of the season kind of player. Things always get better for me. People always complain about, season's dead. Oh my God, it's harder to make currency. It's harder for me to make currency early in the season, and I make more later in the season. I don't know what it is, but I think some of it has to do with the fact that I like just like pushing my character to the limit and trying to be as efficient as I can, finding some cool strategies that net some really nice currency per hour. And that's what this video is going to be, focusing on the tower in T10. T10 for a few reasons, but mainly I feel like it's pretty nice balance of. I actually have some notes here, so I'll go over it a little bit. So T3 is where everybody kind of starts. That's that's the meta. Like T3 Lightning Arrow, Deadeye with like all the magic find gear and stuff, and that's cool. So, but T3 is a big. Is all the hype because, well, for one thing, the tower happened to actually spawn naturally as a T3, a low-level map, so that was convenient. But it's safe, so like you can like go total glass cannon, and you can still handle like Scourge Realm at maximum stacks for the most part. As a glass cannon, you're still gonna die a few times, I think, based on some of the gear I've seen around. Some of these people are wearing. It's not really my cup of tea. I like kind of a hybrid or a balanced approach with my character's speed, efficiency, defenses, offenses, as well as whatever other ancillary stats that contribute to the currency per hour. In this case, quantity and rarity on gear. And I'll go over that a little bit soon. I don't want to spend too much time going over my gear. Probably not going to make a long video about it, about my gear in particular, my build. You guys can check out the POB down below if you want to see it. But I will talk a little bit about some of the key differences between what I'm doing and what maybe some of the meta players are doing, because I think it's interesting. So reason to do T10 instead of Tier 3, Headhunter and Mage Blood. That's the big reason. Shout out to Path of Math, the content creator. I learned one really big thing from his videos, and that was you should not be doing T3 if you want to have any chance of finding a Headhunter or Mage Blood. Now, that may seem like a far reach, like, oh my God, I'll find a Headhunter or Mage Blood, I'm just farming nurse cards, right? But no, like, if you're doing this magic find and you're pushing it pretty hard, you're doing it consistently, you're going to find a whole hell of a lot of unique belts. And that's significant because, believe it or not, unique belts are like really high value this season. The Wretched card, which is something we'll mention a bit later on, the Wretched card is extremely valuable this season, like 3 or 4 times more valuable than it was in previous seasons because of Mage Blood primarily. And if you want any testament to that, well, just take a look at ancient orb prices. They're way up compared to previous seasons. A Wretched card is basically the exact same thing as an ancient orb for all intents and purposes. It's just a more convenient way to try and spam your luck for a Mage Blood because you don't have to like turn the cards in one after another. But yeah, so that's one of the sort of sleeper value how should I say cards or when it comes to farming currency in this strat, people often undervalue or underestimate the value of the Wretched cards. They're all about the nurse cards, but actually Wretched cards definitely have a place in the value of this strategy. So, Awakened Sextants, another big reason to do T10. They don't drop like they would in Nemesis 3. You know, they're not dropping like candy, but you know, you get on average, you know, a few per map, and it adds up over time. So definitely a good reason to run T10. And then, of course, running yellow maps is better than running white maps in general for magic finding, because you're getting a fair bit more quantity and quality on the map, pack size on the map. And the advantage to yellow maps over red maps is that there is a significant jump in difficulty in terms of like damage and defense check, which actually I think I passed now. In fact, shortly after doing this video, I'm going to make kind of a 3-part video in T10 before I move on, where I'm gonna check out the currency per hour on regular maps, non-Scourge, non-Delirium, just kind of regular T10 maps, high quantity, and just kind of blazing through those. And then I'm gonna check. I think on part 2, I'll check sort of like a Nemesis 3 version, a little higher juicing on. I think. There's an opportunity to run Nemesis 3 in a favorable way, because when you're rolling these maps, sometimes you end up with high quantity Nemesis roll on the map, and you know, it's a little bit of a waste to run a map like that without having Nemesis 3 as one of your Sextants. So I do kind of want to test that to see how that goes, because I accumulate those kind of slowly over time as I'm rolling the maps. And then the third one would be probably like Nemesis 3 in conjunction with a Scourged map, and we'll see what kind of currency, because you know, you're able to Scourge maps easily, and what are you going to Scourge? I mean, maybe you Scourge Glennick Cairn's maps and then run those later, or maybe you're just sticking with magic finding the tower, which is what I'm doing. So I got nothing else to Scourge. I might as well the tower. But I think there's a little bit of contention as to whether scourging maps, running scourged maps, running your own scourged maps based on the quality of those scourged maps is going to pan out to be more currency per hour on average. Of course, everyone thinks about, well, you know, scourge maps make tons of currency. That, you know, they got like Scarabs and all that stuff. Well, the average scourge map doesn't actually turn out to be that great. In fact, maybe more often than not, in my opinion, scourged maps, more often than not, when I scourge a map, it ends up being worse value than that map would have been without a scourge modifier. But I do think that's offset somewhat by the occasional super premium so, you know, it hit the stack decks with Scarabs or something like that, and you know, you just make oodles of cash when that happens. Scourge 10 maps, if even just one of them comes out with like a high quant Scarab hit, well, that's or like Scourge monsters drop 20 additional currency, you know, something crazy like that. Yeah, that kind of makes up for some of the loss. But anyway, enough on that. So the market's been in a bit of a flux recently. Nurse cards actually went down, and the Headhunter value went a little down. So this strategy did take a small hit recently. However, the market stabilized, and Headhunter is on its way back up a little bit. Now I anticipate it'll hold pretty well around 90x. Nurse cards around 1.2x per right now. They're not like 1.6 or 1.7 like they were 2 weeks ago. But to help offset that, again, talking about Wretched cards, Wretched cards on paper are worth like 2 chaos apiece. That's not true. Not at all. No, this is an example of an item that is immensely increased in value if you sell it in bulk. And when I mean bulk, and when I say bulk, I mean serious bulk. Case in point, about 3 or 4 days ago, I sold over 2,000 Wretched cards at a value of like 3.8 chaos per, something like that. You know, there's people who want to gamble, like they got nothing better to do. They've made a lot of currency, and you got to think about like post-league start, what are people likely to spend their currency on? Well, this season, chasing a Mage Blood. Or, trying to cheat the system by, chasing a Mage Blood by just blowing all your currency on Ancient Orbs, or, doing these fun little tests. That's what all the whales are doing. That has to be taken into account when it comes to the currency per hour of this strategy. However, I think I will probably rely on Excellence's calculation of that, which is going to undervalue Wretched by a fair bit. So whatever this currency per hour comes out to, one should probably consider that it's a fair bit higher on account of Wretched's being undervalued. Let's get into the test. I've got to go over my dump tab here. Yeah. I'll talk over Atlas passives first, actually. Atlas passives. What am I running? Strongbox. It behooves me to find that nobody takes Strongbox seriously still. We're so fortunate that the Divination card farming strategy is in the region with Strongbox, because you get to do both Scourge Realm and Strongbox Quantity farming in the same map. But nobody's doing that. I see people take this node and then they don't take the Sextant, so it just completely behooves me. I already proved that the Sextant itself is still a force to be reckoned with. 1000% quantity from items spawned from Strongbox monsters if you're running it properly. There's no reason not to do that. I mean, it's just this massive quantity. And honest to God, like 1 out of 4 or maybe 1 out of 5 nurse cards I find come from this mechanic in conjunction with quantity from Strongbox monsters. It happens. You're going to see it in this test. I'm also running just Delirium. I think Harbinger is a decent choice. The problem with Harbinger is it slows you down a little bit, and without the Auspicious Watchstone, I don't have the Holy Grail Watchstone of like Auspicious with 4% increased modifiers to items. I don't have that Holy Grail Watchstone. If I did, I'd probably run Harbinger, but you gotta have the 4% 4% increased effective modifiers on non-unique maps. You gotta run that because that's essentially like 2% pack size and 5% quantity and 3% rarity or something like that on a high roll map. So I'm just running Delirium. There's nothing else to run that's really good. Delirium is actually pretty cool. You get a lot of Delirium orbs. It's super challenging to run on tower and to complete the map in a tower map. You have to be crazy fast, and it's challenging even for me to do that. But you'll get to see me pull it off, hopefully. Sextants. So, a couple of mandatory Sextants for me. The most mandatory one is Strongbox monsters are enraged. 600% item quantity. This is going to result in more nurse cards, just straight up, and more quantity of everything. Wretched and Exalted Orbs, all kinds of stuff. This Sextant has a value, and I will prove its value, because it's terribly undervalued, in my opinion. 1x. So, Territories Unknown or Irresistible Temptation. To get this 16-use Elevated Sextant, 1x maximum. Sometimes I buy it for less than an x, actually. So that's where... So I set up... well, if you notice in Excellence, the Watchstones don't show up for some reason. So that's why I set up my dump tab with these Exalted Orbs next to it to cover my bases for how much the investment is. 2 Watchstones, because I'm running 32 maps, 32 uses. That's going to be a total of 2 Exalts there. The other Watchstone I'm running... Now, you get way more value of this Watchstone in Glennick Cairns, I understand. So I am competing with some of the people farming. People still undervalue the hell out of this. Tripolar Bear has tried to push the value of the Sextant, and good for him. It's incredibly good for Glennick Cairns. I discovered that last season anyway. And now we get Beyond on the Atlas, so it's even more crazy. But oh yeah, as well as Abyss, which is really good for Beyond spawning. But anyway, we get Beyond on the Atlas. I get Beyond on every map. And even with just a single iteration of Beyond, this is really good. I get something like maybe 50 Divine Orbs. Or I'll say 56 links per 16 maps. So we're looking at, in the end, when this is all said and done, I'll have something like 100 Divine Orbs. And if you do the math on that, what you find is I more than make up my money for this. This is one of those things where you're consistently making money. There's no RNG involved. I'm going to consistently make my money back and then some with this Sextant. Even just because, you know, I may not be in Glennick Cairns, but the sheer amount of pack size and monsters there on the map, the amount is just going to spawn so many Beyond bosses anyway that, yeah. They're 1.5x a piece, I believe. If I check here. There you go. Yeah, 1.4, 1.5. That's right about where I buy mine. I typically start buying them when they go to 1.5x per. And that's where the 3x is coming from. 2 of those. So we got those 2 Sextants covered. The other Sextants, I don't really care. Like, they're not, you know, it could be just about anything. So long as it puts monsters on the map or somehow improves the map in some way. Tangible to, like, you know, actual drop rates, quantity and stuff, which is what this does. You know, magic pack size is okay, and 3 additional strong boxes is okay with my strategy. These are sort of these are throwaway Sextants. You know, anyone gets these Sextants when they're rolling for Nemesis 3 or whatever, they typically roll over them, so their value is very cheap, basically just the cost of the Maven Orb, elevated Sextant rather, is what I meant to say. So why do I have 5x next to this then? Well, it's because a 20 percentile booming Populace is still quite expensive. And ultra mandatory. Oh, it's down. Wow, it's only 2x now. When I checked this before, they were like 2.3, 2.2, 2.3. So I'm going to leave this as it is, even though it looks like it's gone down in value a little bit. It's just a couple sellers there. We're going to say, with the Sextant and the Watchstones, we're looking at about 2.5 exalts per. Because it's either 20% or bust. 20% is actually 25%. And even if you roll a 19%, that's only 23%. So even at 19%, you're still missing 2% pack size, which is just unacceptable in my opinion. So with this particular strategy, it only costs you like an extra half exalt to buy one 20%, and you're not going to roll it in half an exalt of divine orbs on average. So just buy it 20%. That's the better option. That's where 5x is coming from there. The 4th Watchstone, which needs to have 4% increased effect modifiers non-unique maps, because that's actually 5% increased effective modifiers on non-unique maps. You could run War Among the Stars, would not be a terrible idea. But without Nemesis 3 farming, I think this is better. And these are throwaway Sextants. And I'm being generous, really, by claiming that this is going to be an exalt to cover the Sextants here. The Watchstones are obviously free. So, you know, if anything, I'm being generous about that. Maybe I should only have half an exalt here. I don't know, but whatever. The other exalt is going to cover the cost of the prophecies. I run one Tempest Prophecy, and then Bountiful Traps is a backup. And if I'm not mistaken, Bountiful Traps actually is a backup prophecy, meaning it prioritizes the more important one, Tempest, which is, I much prefer Tempest to proc. It prioritizes that one and then gives Bountiful as a backup, because Bountiful Traps procs like a third of the time, maybe, as opposed to Tempest. So I think that's how it works. So that's why that exalt's there. And you know, these exalts also help kind of cover the cost of, you know, other ancillary costs, little hidden costs here and there. How about maps? I rolled the maps. my lowest, I have, for example, like my highest pack size and lowest pack size maps here to start with. 28% pack size was the lowest I went with. Again, Path of Math made I agree with his video on how he rolls the maps. If it bricks into armory, throw it away. If it bricks into anything under like 90% item quantity, throw it away. I only run the big ones, and I get plenty of maps to spare. I do spend quite a bit of currency on rolling the maps in the end. However, that's offset greatly by the fact that sometimes I hit something like this, which is, as you can see, I'm currently not selling it at 1.8x, but like I've sold this kind of map for 2x at the tier 6 level, map tier 6. So as people begin to move into tier 8, people are going to start buying these at this price. So you make up basically all of the currency investment in rolling the maps when you hit the occasional Holy Grail Nemesis 3 combined with Beyond. Somebody's going to want to pay for that map because they just like paying for that map. So yeah. So that's basically it. You know, the excellence is calculating the value of the maps, which apparently gone back up to 10C apiece. It's calculating the Scarabs. They're all there. And then I manually inserted Exalted Orbs to cover the cost of the Watchstones plus Sextants. So I've covered all my bases. The total, I believe, 24.6x. This number has been fluctuating between 24 and 25x. I'm just going to call it 25x. You know, again, being generous. Actually, you know what? That's not right, because I overvalued this one. I put in a little bit too much extra because of this. I think 24x is going to be actually more accurate. So for sure, when we're looking at the final result, we're going to take whatever the amount I have in the dump tab minus 24 exalts, and that divided by hopefully 2, because it'll take 2 hours to do this, and that will be my exalt per hour. Should be how it goes. So yeah, again, trying to cover all my bases here. I think we're good. This video, opening of this video is already long enough. We've got a lot of great maps here. A lot of these maps actually dropped in maps, because another bonus to running unique monsters drop corrupted items. A unique monster dropped this map. That's freaking awesome. I quite often get like super premium pre-rolled corrupted 8 mod maps just straight up drop in the map because of this Sextant. So a lot of hidden value there. Yeah, any other remaining hidden value? One other thing, a couple things. One thing I'm going to do that's really interesting in this test that I've never done before. I am going to pick up every single unique belt, because I want people to understand, you know, when they're comparing this to like Nemesis 3, there's a lot of hidden value in this. Like, for example, just how many unique belts are you dropping? And while probably none of my unique belts will be a Headhunter or Mageblood, it will represent a sort of slot machine, you know, farming, or not farming, but attempts to get a Mageblood or a Headhunter. I will have so many attempts at it. I will get so much opportunity to get it, just by the sheer number of unique belts it dropped. I actually changed my loot filter to see all unique belts, because that will simulate me basically using an ancient orb every single time I see a unique belt drop. Because that's what it is. I mean, Ancient Orb just randomizes a unique belt, any base, any type of thing. And it's a perfectly one-to-one representation of what that looks like. There are some people out there who are willing to pay, and you put 2 and 2 together, it basically means there are some people out there who are willing to pay 25 chaos per unique belt. So I'm not going to cheat and count that as 25 chaos per unique belt that I get, but I just want people to realize just how much hidden value you're getting. by doing that, because it's just going to be tons. I don't even know where I'm going to put them. Probably have to dump them all over my stash in like random stash tabs. I won't even have enough room. Maybe. Anyway, we'll see. I mean, it should be something like 5 to 10 unique belts per map, maybe. Maybe more than that. Also, gem leveling. Compared to most strategies, because gems don't suffer from the leveling penalty, I'm running T10s, and I get the full force of the monster's XP from T10s. So what I am going to do this time around, I typically I go in the marketplace and I find, you know, a decent gem to level that is stable in the marketplace and has a disparity between like, so I usually do alternate quality gems because they level up really quickly. The disparity between level 16 and 20 is usually at least an exalted orb. That's not the case for all alternative gems, but it is if you do just even a minute amount of research, you can find one. For me, in this case, I'm trying out Desecrate, Phantasmal Desecrate, and Phantasmal Toxic Rain. A lot of people like Phantasmal Toxic Rain, and they're just throwing them away into the... they're just corrupting the crap out of them, trying to hit 21s on this. So they should sell pretty easily. They will not sell easily at 1x difference, but they will sell easily at half an x difference. So what I'm going to do, assuming I successfully level each of these gems from 16 to 20 in 32 maps, assuming that happens, I'm going to value this 6 gems at 3x. So we're going to effectively add 3 exalted orbs back into the final tally to cover the cost. Now, I think that's totally fair because that's completely consistent. Unlike the whole unique belt thing, this is completely consistent, reliable form of money making, and there's no reason not to count that towards this. Again, assuming that I do reach level 20 after 32 maps. Most farming strategies are not going to be killing monsters at the rate I am with this strategy, so I think that's perfectly reasonable to factor that in. I'm also going to be scourging maps. For these maps will go towards part 3, actually. You know, a lot of times you rolling the maps, you get something really nice like this. And I'm going to be running a Nemesis. So part 1 is going to be, you know, perfectly clean maps like the ones you see here. High quantity, 8 modded maps typically, like the ones you see here. I'm also running, you know, lesser ones that only have monster pack size 28, 29, or 30. Because, you know, you don't just throw everything away. There's a nice combination of all the maps here. And then part 2, I'm going to be running maps that look exactly like this with Nemesis 3. And then part 3, I'm going to be running maps that look exactly like this, but are also scourged in combination with Nemesis 3. So, you know, I'm prepping that up. I'm not going to count these maps. Like, I'm not going to add currency in to say, well, you know, I scourged a bunch of maps. That's a bunch of extra currency, right? Again, it's a little hard to calculate the value of that, and I'm just not going to do that. That's just going to be bonus, hidden value. So basically 3 forms of hidden value. 1, oodles of unique belts. 2, leveling gems. And 3, scourging maps like crazy. So the gems is the only one that I'm actually going to kind of factor in at like 50% value. So we're done. We're good. Finally, ready to run the maps, I think. The full video on this will be on my Twitch, where I went over the Twitch will be in the link down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, I went over all my gear, my setup, the reasons why you might want to go Caustic Arrow over Lightning Arrow. You know, Lightning Arrow is perfectly fine to do, but actually quite a bit of flexibility in the meta there, I think. And I'm just about to go off on this. If we can take a snapshot. No, still not set up. It's not updated yet. Sometimes this thing is a little slow. But yeah. So you can see here, I got 32 Scarabs set up. I am running 600% quantity Strongbox. I think people undervalue the hell out of this. I'm still running this. I'm running Delirium, not Harbinger. Going for just pure speed. I am running Unique Monsters Drop Corrupted Items. That gives me extra 6 links that more than make up for the cost of the Sextant, as well as 8 modded Corrupted Tower maps that end up with like 40% pack size, just straight out of the monster, which is pretty cool. That happens occasionally. A couple of throwaway Sextants here, nothing super special. They are elevated rolled, but you know, I actually was rolling Booming Populace. I was running a bunch of them and actually made money doing it. So you know, I of course occasionally hit a Sextant like this. I figured, hey, this is a good place to throw it in, because you could buy it with the Sextant for pretty cheap anyway. Let's see if we've got this set up. Come on. Okay, there we go. 24 exalts basically invested in this. That number was actually 24 before. It seemed to go up. It's fluctuating 24 to 25. I overvalued the cost of the Watchstones and Sextants and Prophecies a little bit by throwing 12x into this as to cover my bases for all the investment fees. So I'm going to put that back in here. And we're going to add this here. Booyah. So I'm running T10. Oh, I see what happened. When I went into that quarry or whatever, it ate up one of my Tempests. Yeah, I'm going to replace the Tempest. That map just procced either Bountiful Traps or a Tempest. I'm not sure which. And there we go. So the X per hour should be pretty good. Hoping that this turns out to be under 2 hours of farming 32 maps. You heard me right. I'm going to farm 32 tower maps in under 2 hours if I can manage. I think I completely forgot what I was doing. There's something I forgot to do. Oh well. Time is 8:55 local time, so before 11 o'clock should be done with this. Here we go. I needed to minimize this. That's what I wanted to do. Give you a proper screen. It'll make me lag less. Bountiful Traps was the proc here. Okay, I'm going to swap out to my Enrage builder. I will, of course, talk about how I'm running the map in a minute here. Already cleared the whole Scourge realm. Of this floor. Transition floors, put down the portal super fast. Boom. Second floor. I'm going to try to clear the whole Scourge realm here. You can see I'm not even looking at the monsters. I don't, unlike a Deadeye, or unlike a Lightning Arrow, I don't even have to like aim or anything. It just kills everything. And for the most part, I can clear the whole Scourge realm. I've done this enough times to know that I did in fact clear the whole Scourge realm. I go ahead and shift back in when I'm looting. This is one way to really up the efficiency of what you're doing. Don't shift in and out of the Scourge realm, despite what everyone else is saying. There's only so many Scourge monsters that you get for free that way. Basically, roughly 10 switcheroos. It's actually up to 70 stacks maximum. So, no reason to do it constantly in the map. That was weird. But, you know, when you are picking up stuff, it's a good time to do it. go in the Scourge Realm, spawn the monsters, have your Caustic Arrow down, they just die automatically. And you can keep your Rampage buffs up fairly well that way. You can see I dropped mine there, but I just had a little bit too much stuff to pick up in one spot. Take a slight timeout here. Rampage again. Nah, that didn't work. Yeah. Oh, wow, I forgot to go in Scourge though. Woo! So I goofed a little there. Oh, second nurse right off the bat. So this is my highest quantity rolled map. So, I mean, you know, probably going to get a little bit busted results on this map here. It's like 45% pack size, I think. Some bonkers amount. Yeah, 95% pack size when it's all said and done. 185% quantity on the map. Pretty dope. Yeah, I did that right there. Kept my Rampage buff up. And continued. Picking up all unique belts. I'll probably forget to pick up a few. But I want to calculate the hidden value of just how many unique belts you get when doing this strategy. It'd be pretty gross. But we forgot about that spot down there.
That will only slow me down.
Trying to keep my Rampage up here. And he do it. No, failed. But hey, you know, I got the speed. I can make up for it. I could have died right there. He saw me just kind of move in and just die. So this is the only time I might die right here. Even then, still not very likely. Because I have done a pretty good job balancing my gear so that it will. Wow, really? All right. This is actually already taken me 5 minutes to run this map. It's a little bit more time than I usually will take. I've timed myself enough to know that I can do it in about 4 minutes, possibly 3 minutes if I'm not really picking up any loot. So I'm at the end of the map, and I need to make sure that I go in and out of the Scourge Realm enough time to make to get all of those free monsters. They are not unlimited in supply. In fact, I think I've already gone in enough so we're going to find out right here. Yeah, so no monsters spawn there. That means I've maxed it out. There's no monsters left in the Scourge Realm. I will not get any more for free. And that's that. So, there we go. Map 1 down. I got 2 nurse cards.
Hello.
Got a nice start. There will be good RNG, there will be bad RNG. It's all part of the game. Oh yeah, I didn't mean to pick that up. Actually, I'm actually not looting at T11s at all, by the way. Just kind of a decision I made. One more Sextant to pick up. It's a little unfortunate when you gotta go back in to pick up one item, but what are you gonna do? Don't forget to put your Watchstones back in. I'm looking forward to the day when I MF at T14. I don't have to do that anymore. That will be nice. What do we get here? Randomly Catalyst, basic currency. Good. Oh, we got Scarab on here, influenced item, but I didn't get good shifts in. But, oh well. Not bad. Map number 2. So this is essentially my worst map in terms of pack size. This is the lowest quality or lowest pack size map that I settled on when I was rolling my maps. It's a 28% pack size. The first map was 45% pack size, so that's a like massive difference. And the loot is consequently probably not going to be nearly as good this map as it was in the other one. But you know, you can't just throw everything away that isn't like super high, or else you're actually going to lose a bit of money. It's good. It's wise to go ahead and run a map like this. I actually got more stacks. Oh, I didn't even realize a Delirium mirror spawned this map. Okay, so this map will actually end up being better than the last map on account of Delirium spawning. We'll see if I can finish a whole Delirium. Probably not, but you know, I'll try. I've had a lot of practice at this, at least. I do like that chest. Already spending too much time in this. Oh, this is nice. The League mechanic that pauses the mirror is like super valuable. Although I gotta stay around and clear it, so that's not good. Alright, I'm making an executive decision to skip looting for the sake of the Delirium mirror. That I just caught wind of a pause there. Running behind it right now. Almost no chance of being able to finish this. I have kept up my rampage buffs. Wow, I'm so much more defensive than I was before. Getting most recent changes in my gear. I may actually not die in this whole test, which would be nuts. I'm sure I probably will at some point, but... Okay, Delirium mirrors should be right there. Yep, okay, I'm gonna have to skip that Strongbox to do this. Try to make the most out of this mirror. Now this is an example of something that not everybody can do. Like, you do have to have like exceptional gear to pull off a full Delirium clear on the tower. Delirium mirror clear. I didn't get a full one. I got like 90. I got at least 95% of that mirror done. So I'm pretty satisfied considering I had weird stuff going on in the beginning. Screwed me over. But as you can see, if you do most of the mirror, you actually get really nice loot. You get a lot of splinters. At T10, you do get way more splinters than you get at Tier 3. Which is another reason why I'm looking forward to T14 for more splinters on those deli mirrors. And you usually get a Delirium orb, or 2, or even 3. And potentially a good cluster jewel, which actually I did get a good cluster jewel, actually. This in there, I think. Okay, I'm picking up all unique belts because we're going to see in the end just how many. I could pick up all elegant shields, but I'm not going to do that. Completely forgot to do these. Free 6 links, yay! Somebody say free 6 link. I'll take a free 6 link. Have no fear, there will still be some monsters on the map down here. This is a really good time to be super fast in a raider, and onslaught speed right here is I am running back through the map to pick up loot that in order to do this particular thing, you have to sacrifice some runtime, but if you can make up for that, with insane run speed out of combat like I have, it's not so bad. Not so bad. I feel like there's, yeah, maybe some. There we go. Another pack here I missed. Heavy belt again.
We will be best friends, Beast, until we
Scouring.
slaughter you.
Yeah, here's that quest. The free Scourge monsters up the going in and out of the realm, they're about up. I may have one more attempt, but honestly I don't think I've probably done. Yep, it's done. I believe there's nothing. Oh, there was stuff to pick up here, yeah. Whoops.
My mana is gone. That would only slow
I'm
me
totally
down.
forgetting to pick up studded belts. I am not going to pick up anywhere near all of the unique belts that drop. I'm just trying to remember. 'Cause I'm not used to doing that at all.
Farewell.
Cool. Oh no, I forgot to I forgot to remove my Watchstones that last map. Ah, idiot. Probably down about 5 tower maps there. Okay. I'm gonna have to calculate all this. As you can see on the bottom right hand corner, it says 11.22x per hour. That may or may not be accurate. I don't even think that's with the last snapshot. I don't think that's the right number, actually. Started this at 8:54. Huh. I'm really surprised it took that long. Do 3.5 hours. I don't know where I got 2 hours from. I got 2 hours from because I can do a map in 4 minutes flat. So if I take for example, if I take 32 maps and I divide it by 6 minutes per map. Oh, sorry, it's 32 times 6 per map. 1 minute for, you know, grace. That's 192 minutes. Yeah, 192 minutes. Which is, oh, that's 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours and, oh, okay, no, this is right. That's 3 hours and 12 minutes. 3.2 hours. And I did this in 3.5 hours. So when I said I'd do this in 2 hours, I was talking out of my ass. That was the wrong number. I had actually done this math before. And it wasn't that I thought I could do it in 2 hours that I misspoke, actually. What I thought is that I could do it in maybe 3 hours. That's still a little bit of a stretch. But let's go through and see what the results are. Just kind of take a glance here. Divine Orbs, 122 Divine Orbs. In how many maps? Oh my god, that's so much. That was just from the Sextant. Now, maybe 10 of those at the most came from raw drops. That was just, geez, a lot of stuff. Let's see. Got Mjolnir. Got 81 tower maps at 8C apiece. That's about right. Only 17 awakened sextants. You know, talk about T10 being so good for the awakened sextants. Actually, surprisingly low number of them dropped. It was a little less than I anticipated. Got a few delirium orbs here. You're gonna see how many simulacrum splinters? 204 simulacrum splinters. That's not terrible. I got more delirium spawns in, I think, statistically, the statistical odds would present. So, yeah. 202 raw chaos orb. That's actually higher than I expected. 31 Tinker's table. 167 orbs scouring, 84 Val orbs. Prime Sextant, 64. Another delirium orb. Lion's Eye dropped. Honestly, the most disappointing thing about this farm was just the lack of good uniques. Like, I didn't... In 32 maps, I usually get at least one unique. For example, something like this, Athena's Gentle Touch. You know, something a unique like that. The best unique I got was chevrons. One chevron. And that's not much. The total expenses in this were 24 exalts in 32 maps. So it was like 0.75 exalts per map. And I'm sitting at 55.5 exalts right now. So we'll do the calculation in a minute here. Let's go through. Cartography, Simple Sextant. Looking for the really good stuff. Another Delirium Orb. Prism Guardian dropped, and a Corrupted one. Another Delirium Orb. Orb of Annulment. 6 Orbs of Annulment. Another one of those. 1 March of the Legion. 1 7 League Step. 17 stack decks, nothing crazy. Some Tainted Orb Fusion. 1 Bisco's Leash, a really good one. I did get a Brass Dome. That's gone way down in value recently. It was selling for almost an Exalt before. Let's see. 1 good Calm's Heart. Gone up for some reason. 1 Cosprees, yeah. That's right. One of those did drop. And there's the chevrons right there. 8 raw exalts. That's 1 exalt per 4 maps. I did say in the beginning, I think you're going to get on average about 1 exalt per 4 maps. Or maybe 5 maps. And then I said maybe that's a little bit lucky. So maybe my like 1 and 6. So I think, in my opinion, I actually got a little bit lucky with the raw exalt drops. I think I got maybe 1 or maybe 2 raw exalts more than statistically the odds are set for. Where? The Wretched. Oh, okay. 243 Wretcheds. See, this is a problem. This is a problem right here. It is suggesting that Wretcheds are 2.5 chaos apiece. That's a complete lie. It's easily 3.5 chaos apiece. It's more like 4 chaos apiece. But that's okay. We're just going to go with what Excellent says. I'm not going to beat a dead horse there. Where are my nurse cards? Where's my nurse cards? There they are. 17 nurse cards. 17 nurse cards. Yeah, that's about right. Nurses at this level of juice usually see about 1 per every other map. I found 17 in 32 maps. That's 1 over the projected 1 in 32 maps. I think that's perfectly reasonable to expect results like that. So there you go. Yeah, the results look actually pretty accurate with the nurse cards, with the Wretched cards. Actually, I always say Wretcheds drop about 15 times as often as nurse cards. So let's see if I'm accurate on that. 17 nurse cards. I'm gonna actually go back to Wretcheds here. I got 243 Wretcheds. If I take 243 divided by 15, this is about how many nurse cards I should have gotten. 16.2. There you go. I mean, that's exactly right. And again, something else I've never heard anyone say is, you know, people complain a lot about their nurse card drop rates. I feel like I'm not getting as many as I should, or something. Count your Wretched cards, divide the number, do a session, count your Wretched card, divide that number by 15. That's how many nurse cards you should have, approximately. My math is probably off by a smidge, but again, done this enough to know that, you know, Wretcheds might drop 16 times more often, or 18 times more often, or maybe only 12 times more often, but it's definitely somewhere around 15 times more often. And exactly the results that I got right there. So I'm happy to see that pan out the way I thought it would. So, yeah. And I did mention that I am going to count these jewels. I leveled 6 alternate quality gems from 16, where they start, to 20. A very minimal amount of effort done in market, looking at markets fluctuations will tell you that you know, you can pick a gem you want to level, and you can add it to, oh, what the hell, really? You can add that gem in, and you can expect to see a return profit of about 1 exalt per gem you level, just from 16 to 20. You could do awakening gems, but they take a long time, so this is what I'm doing here. So I went ahead and I just deposited 3 additional exalts in there, because I'm only counting them at half the value. I could take these gems and sell them for, you know, half an exalt above what they cost 16, and they would sell to the first buyer, like, immediately. In fact, somebody who's flipping would probably actually buy them from me if I did that. But I'm not going to do that, because I want full value. I'm not going to mess with them right now. So I will just put these right here. And while I'm at it, I think I'll get those ready. Okay. So, we're going to take one more snapshot. Hasn't updated yet. While I'm waiting on that update, we're waiting for the final numbers. I will go ahead and explain the Scarabs I used. So I used Gilded Divination Scarab. Polish is okay. I think Gilded has a little bit more value and worth the currency. Again, if you're running high quant, high pack size maps, I think it is worth doing. Even with a Reliquary Scarab, where you're not putting extra monsters on the map. I do think pairing the Reliquary and the Divination Scarab are a good idea, even though you're sacrificing 2 Scarabs, not putting extra monsters on the map. I still think it's worth it, because, again, so much magic find and quantity by virtue of Scourge Realm and the gear and the map. You know, 2,500% more rarity at all maximum Scourge stacks, 2,100% more quantity at maximum Scourge stacks. That's with my gear and my maps, my average map. Definitely seems worth doing. And again, I think I got a fair bit unlucky when it came to the unique drops. I probably only made like, I don't know, I probably only made like 3x from all the uniques, and uniques are not easy to sell either. They're one of the hardest things, one of the things you have to have the most patience for to sell. Well, with the exception of actually, that's not so true this league. A lot of people are buying uniques and then crangling them and stuff, so maybe that's not as true. But let's actually count the number of unique belts. I didn't do that. Gotta do that. I don't think the excellence is going to even see. Yeah, it didn't even look at the belts, because all of these belts are worth less than 5 chaos, which is the minimum amount that I have mine set up for. I'm just going to throw them all into tab B right now, I think. yeah, a few opportunities to get a Mage Blood or a Headhunter here. Just a few. Almost there. I don't know. I'm probably gonna miss a few of these. It's pulling up all the. God. It's gonna pull up all the cards anyway. Bisco's actually stays in there. That was the high value one. Doesn't count towards what I'm doing here. I think that's all of them. All right. Okay, before we count the belts, let's go back in here and do excellence one more time. Okay, there it is. All right, so it says 14.6x per hour. That's not accurate. That's overestimating it for sure. That thing, I don't know what. This thing is overestimates, underestimates all the time. 58.7x per hour. So, as you can see, I started here, local time, 8 hours, 54 minutes. My last, if you zoom in here, you can see my last actual deposit here is in at 12:27. It's basically, you know, I didn't actually start running the map till 5 minutes till. Basically 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours is how much time I spent in maps running. So, you know, I should make a disclaimer. This strategy does require a fair bit of prep. You got to do the Scarabs, you got to do the Sextants, you have to do the you have to get the Watchstones, you have to buy the unique Watchstones. Luckily, you can buy some of the Watchstones pre-Sextant, and you only need like 2 of the Sextants based on what I did, and the other 2 don't really matter. So it's not terrible prep, but it is some. It is about 3/4 of an exalt per map in prep. And you know, and selling these items, unlike my Blight video I made, selling these items, some of them you can sell instantly, like the nurse card that can turn into a doctor card, sell it for 10x instantly. But there's some items in here you can't do that instantly, like the uniques primarily. The divine orbs you can sell immediately. The wretcheds you can sell not immediately but pretty quickly, and the nurse cards, of course, quickly. So it was 24 exalts that I invested in. So 58.76 minus 24 exalts equals 34.676 divided by 3.5. Okay, there you have it. Right about 10x per hour, 9.93. Forgive me if I'm going to say in the video I'm going to sell it 10x per hour. Yeah, that's 10x per hour. And my results were pretty typical. I may have got a few more divine orbs than usual, maybe. I may have got like 1 more nurse card than usual, maybe. I maybe got like 1 more exalt than usual, maybe. But I got absolutely shafted on uniques. To have not got a single big unique, one can actually expect to get at least like 1. Like I didn't even get.
I'm not up to that just
You know what's actually crazy is that I didn't get a single one of these Aegis ores. These things drop like candy when I'm farming usually, and I didn't get a single one of them. They're like half an exalt apiece. The brass domes drop also all the time. I only got 1. Chevrons drop a lot. Only got 1. Zenith Gentle Touch drops periodically. Got none. I don't know. I got absolutely shafted on unique jewels. Didn't get like a single one that was worth like more than 5 chaos, which is super bizarre. So I'm a little bit salty about the unique drops. I actually wanted to showcase, you know, Reliquary Scarab. Hey, it's worth it. Get the unique drop. Well, didn't look like it was panned out that good this time. However, so I can, with an honest, straight face, say 10x an hour for the strat, I think. And then hidden value. Let me show you guys something. If I take Wretched, turn a couple of these in, see what happens.
Let me tell your future.
Oh, a chain belt. Okay, random chain belt. Oh, random cloth belt. All right. Yeah, people are turning those in at 4 chaos a piece. You know how I know that? Well, because first of all, they buy it. And second of all, oh look, Ancient Orbs, 25 chaos a piece. Huh. You telling me people are blowing 25 chaos like this? They're just doing that for 25 chaos a piece? Yes, they are. There's people who are doing that. So it may not be worth, one unique belt may not be worth 25 chaos to you. And it's not really worth 25 chaos to me. But it's worth 25 chaos to somebody. to a certain number of people. And it'd be worth 20 chaos a piece to a lot of people, actually. It'd be worth 10 to 15 chaos a piece to a big number of people. So this is how many unique belts I got in 32 maps. Let's count them, actually. I'm like way too sleepy to do this. Okay, yeah, sure. I guess we'll start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Oh. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Oh god, alright, 61, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, alright, that's 70. 71, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 110. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 120. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 130. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 141. Wow, that was not enjoyable. 141. I think I got that right. $141 times 25 is hidden value. 3,520. And chaos divided by 150 is an extra 23.5 exalts of hidden value. Now, of course, you know, you're going to see unique belts drop when you're doing like Nemesis 3 and red maps or stuff. So, you know, it's not fair for me to calculate that in at even partial value. It's not fair for me to calculate that into the final findings. But I am going to point it out that this strategy, you're target farming. You're very much target farming. You're target farming divination card, but you are very much target farming Mage Blood and Headhunter. And, you know, naturally I didn't get one. But I got 141 in 3.5 maps. And to certain people who are, you know, just buying oodles of them and using Gwenin like crazy, using Ancient Orbs like crazy, buying Wretched like crazy, this is 23x of value to someone like that. On a side note, on an interesting point, one of the biggest reasons I wanted to do this is because I wanted to see how many hours it would take for me to find a Mage Blood and or Headhunter on average. So let's calculate that, shall we? We got 141 divided by 3.5. Okay. I'm finding roughly 40 unique belts per hour. According to Surgog's last video, it's something like 3,800 unique belts. 95. 95 hours of doing this farm, I deserve to find a Mage Blood and a Headhunter. Now, you know, obviously that might not happen. Probably not going to happen. But in terms of statistical odds, for me personally, in the way I farmed, 95 hours. I mean, I've done, yeah, I've certainly done at least 50 hours of this kind of farm. Yeah, at least. Probably close to 100. I'd say I've pushed this limit. I take that back. I'm also counting T6 farming in there. So, yeah, I've probably only done maybe 50 hours of T10 Tower Magic Find farming, you know, intensely efficient farming. Yeah. So, hey, give me another 50 hours or so, and I'll probably have a Mage Blood and or Headhunter. I think it'll happen. I think it's definitely going to happen before the end of the season. Definitely. Unless I totally swap gears and I start doing Nemesis 3. So there you have it. Pretty clear evidence that you can get about 10x per hour doing this. And this is with no Nemesis 3. This is with no Scourged maps involved. I have a feeling that once I run like Nemesis 3 as well as Nemesis 3 and Scourge maps, it's going to come out to more than 10x per hour. How I know that is, well, you know, a lot of my sessions was like, I'd run 16 maps in 3 hours, and 4 of them would be Nemesis 3 Scourged maps, like super premium maps. And I'd run those 4, and then I'd run the other 12 regular maps, and I'd make like 10 to 12x per hour doing that. That's 3 hours for only 16 maps. So I think it's pretty safe to say that the other one's going to do good. What's the guy said here? I said I played 734 hours Magic Finding T10 and Tropical. Only got 1 Headhunter and a shield. Wow, 734 playing hours. Dang. But you weren't. Wait, you were Magic Finding? Well, I'm just calculating the odds. I mean, I picked up literal. Oh, by the way, I definitely missed some of those unique belts. In no way did I pick up every single unique belt. I probably picked up 90% of them. So actually, it's if anything, my odds are even better than I said. Probably more like 1 in every 90 hours played of this style of Magic Finding. This was just 3.5 hours, and you know. Here's hoping, I guess. Thanks for checking out the video, man. And anyone else watching this, I probably forgot to say a couple things, but the important things have been said. 10x per hour, counting the gems that you level, counting all the expenses. Let me know what you guys make per hour. I'm curious. Let me know if you see any ways to improve the build. I'm all ears for hearing about Lightning Arrow, if you think it's better than this. I think it certainly might be better than this. I'm a little bit lazy / complacent to actually completely make a new one for myself just to find out the answer to that question. I'd rather just get some insight from other people. POB will be linked below, as well as I don't know, my PoE Ninja profile, I guess. So yeah, sorry about the delay on the recent video. This was part 1. I'll do part 2 here pretty soon, and then part 3 down the road. So, catch you guys later. Thank you for watching.